Hey, everyone. Good morning, great rising, great day. Give thanks for life. Give thanks for this day. Give thanks for waking up again. We know that everyone did not wake up today. Everyone who was alive yesterday, who went to sleep, did not wake up today. And so we give thanks for this existence. We give thanks for this opportunity to breathe and to be and to rise in spirit, to rise in sound mind, sound body. We know that life happens fast, life changes fast. Today is not promised for you nor for me. So we give thanks for every moment. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful Sunday here in New York City. It's nice and cool outside. The sun is going to shine. The sun is going to shine. Peace and great rising. Good morning, my brother, cousins, dozens, Todd Jones, the donatologist, greatest on the planet. Peace and love, brother. Thank you for being here. Listen, guys, today you're tuned into Sunday Light. Sunday Light every Sunday where I come and I share some perspective. I share some thought, pretty much like a sermon. And today we are going to talk about how being made in the image of God gives us an innate ability and duty to create, right? We are creators, and we're going to get into that today. We're going to get into how, we're going to get into the why, we're going to get into the what we can create. We're going to get into all of that today during the show, during our hour together today. But first, as always, on this Sunday, we want to start with burning some sage. Want to light some sage, we want to say a prayer. I'm going to burn the sage and say a prayer. As I burn the sage and plant this energy, I want to pray that each of us who are living today accepts our divine right and duty to create. I pray that each of us alive today understands and overstands that although we may be parents, although we may have responsibilities related to families and homes and things like that, it is far more fulfilling to create with what you love, to make sure that your work is in what you love than it is simply to work for money to provide. I pray that each of us has the courage to take risk. I pray that each of us has the faith to follow our spirits. I pray that each of us has the communities around us, the support around us, that as we take risk, as we follow our faith, that anything we may need may be provided. I pray that each of us has a deep knowing that even if they should fall, that God is there with them, carrying them through, and will lift them up. I pray that each of us alive today has the conviction to go forward in truth and in passion, aligned with their purpose as they work, and as they make their work their play and they play their work. I pray that each of us alive today loosens the fear we have to being without, of not being able to have enough. I pray that each of us alive today recognize that we will always be cared for. We will always be provided for as we follow our hearts, as we follow our spirits, and as we do good work that is in alignment with our soul's purpose and the reason that we are here. I pray that each of us alive today finds the communities to serve, to work with, and to serve, and to work for on behalf of. So again, that the work is made play and the play is made work. And I pray that each of us recognizes that there is no difference between the two. That is my prayer on this Sunday. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo, and so it is, and so it shall be forevermore. Give thanks. Peace, family. Made in the image of God. Made in the image of God. I have been hearing that term. I've been hearing that phrase. I've been hearing that since I was a child. Most don't know, but if you know me, you know that my dad was a reverend. My dad My father, Leroy Evans Sr., was a Christian preacher. And although I did not grow up in the church with him, because by the time I was born, he wasn't preaching regularly anymore. He was running his business. He had a cleaning company, right? But my older siblings, they got the Bible, they got the church dad, they got all of that. And I went to church sometimes when I was younger, with my dad and my aunt and my grandmother, my sister's grandmother rather, on my mother's side. But my dad didn't really give me the Bible, right? They really didn't give me that religion. But I remember one thing that was constant at that time generally was that you were made in the image of God. You were made in the image of God. And when I really thought about it, it never made sense, right? To me, right? It never made sense to me because my interpretation of God was always like not human. It was always something more than human, something like beyond human. And so when a lot of people I heard say made in the image of God, they meant physical, right? And it was always confusing, right? And what I understood later on is that most people, because our brain work in images, right, and a lot of us are conditioned to think in a certain way. When we think of God, we automatically think physical image, right? Look, right? Which is why they put the images, right? Whether you talk about the image of white Jesus as God, or you talk about the image of in Ethiopia, black Jesus as God, right? However you look at it, there's an image of a person who is told, who people are told that is God, and you were made in that image. And however you slice it and dice it, what eventually makes sense for me, right, in my mind, as I thought, right, independently, and then did the study, right? So it's not like just leaning on my own understanding when I just had these thoughts. No, I had this thought, and then I went and searched and found, right, information from various different sectors of life, various different countries, different continents, different schools of thought, right? In Hinduism and Buddhism, and what I've learned, made in the image of God literally means made all powerful, right? Made in the image of that which is eternal, just in a smaller version, right? In a more compact version, right? So if God is everything, and God is all things, and God is everywhere at all times, and God is all powerful, and we are made in that image, we are the physical manifestations of that which is all powerful, of that which is eternal, of that which is everywhere at all times. And so physically, no, we're not everywhere at all times, but there's a tenet in Taoism that says a man can know the whole world without ever leaving his window. Because your mind is vast, your consciousness, it is, you can tap into the mind of someone all the way across the world, right? By simple contemplation. You can contemplate what life is like, right? What a person may be like, right? What the weather may be like. You can contemplate that of a place that you've never been, right? And so made in the image of God. So when we talk about made in the image of God, we're talking about God is creator, God is source energy, and we are mini creators, right? Filled with source energy, right? Because the creation, no matter how far it is removed from the creator, still has creator energy inside of it. If you make a painting, you create a sculpture, you make a song. We see it now, right? There are people who make music. Michael Jackson made music freaking 30, 40, 50 years ago, right? As a child. And the music is still played today. And it's still received today as if it was just made. And if I'm not mistaken, I think just a few days ago, Michael Jackson charted top 100. He says the first artist to chart in the top 100 on the Billboard, top 10 in the Billboard, Billboard 100, top 10, in 5 different decades, right? 5 or 6 different decades, right? Like that's, so you can make a song, you can create a piece of art, and no matter how long ago you transition, no matter how far away you move, no matter how far your art travels, your essence is still in that art. So it's not the same for us as humans, right? humans who are truly spirit, having a human experience? Is that not the same truth? I remember in farm school, right? In farm school, back in 2013, 2014, was urban agriculture here in New York City. And doing a lot of work with Farmer Jan at the Hattie Carthen urban farm in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, right? Incredible farm in Brooklyn. Incredible woman, incredible sister. Absolutely incredible. But I remember being high one day, on the farm and sitting under the apple tree, right? And contemplating literally the apples, right? And an apple had fell, right? And I looked at the apple, and then my mom was just like, what if I took that apple? Because I think I was going to LA like in a few weeks. I was like, what if I took that apple with me to LA? And ate the apple, and I took the apple seeds and I planted the seeds in LA. And eventually those apple seeds bore more fruit, right? And then imagine if someone ate the apple from that seeds and then took those seeds across the world to, I think I was like China, right? And I was like, now based on weather, right? Based on a lot of different factors, the texture and the color may change a bit. It may go from a green apple to a red apple, right? And all the variations in between. Golden apple, right? It may go all the variations in between, right? Shiny red, dull red, right? So many different variations of apples. Is the apple, the red apple in China, right? That grows in China 30 years later. Is it not still connected to the green apple that was first grown in Brooklyn, New York? 100% of this. 100% it is. Absolutely it is. All right. Because if you study that seed of the apple in China and you go all the way back, you trace where does the seed come from? What is it connected to? What's the history? What's the etymology, right? The ancestry. You're going to come back to Brooklyn. And so again, when we talk about made in the image of God, we're talking about no matter how long ago Earth was created, right? No matter how long ago the universe formed, we are part of that. We are part of that. And so as part of divine creation, divine eternal creation, it is our innate, it's inside of us, right? Our duty to create, to procreate, yes, to create life, of course, but not just physical life in the way of making a child, but to create beauty, to create art, to create that which is like, it's not tangible, but it is, because music, right? Film, right? Clothing, right? Architecture, design, right? Relationships, right? Intimacy in between people, right? It's our innate duty and our responsibility to create. So now the question then becomes, what are you creating, right? What are you creating? Because you are here to create. So what are you creating? You are not here to simply exist, to work a meaningless job, right? To have a meaningless existence that you can't stand. There are people right now that are existing. They are alive, literally looking forward to dying. They just want to get out of here. Life has not been so kind to them, right? They've lost parents when they were younger, and they needed parents. They've been abused. They've been misused. They've been mistreated. They've been forgotten. They've been neglected. And there are people right now on this planet that are not sick in a hospital, right? They're not sick in a hospital on their deathbed in a lot of pain, waiting to die, right? Like, oh, it's over. I'm out of here. Like, you just hurry up and come. No, they're moving around. They're laughing. They're joking, right? Some maybe, right? Or they may be miserable, but they are walking and talking. But their spirit, their soul they're not fulfilled. Now, I'm going to say why they're not fulfilled. People, again, in it's a personal responsibility that we have for ourselves, yes. However, collectively, we have a responsibility to each other. And so we understand, and understand that as individuals, you can be beat down by society, 100%. You can be broken by society. Society, especially the systems that are in place, economic system, education system, political system, judicial system, right? A lot of systems work to break the spirit of humanity, especially if you are of a certain descent, right? If you're black, you're African descent, right? You're black and brown, so to speak, right? Then the systems in place, right, all over the world, colonialism, right, is meant to destroy you. It's built to destroy your spirit, so that you just work on their behalf and that you think and you live on behalf of that group of people, right? But so I don't blame my brothers and my sisters who work jobs because they feel that they have to provide, because they have to work these jobs. These are the only choices they have. These are the only options they have to just get by, and they're miserable, right? Because they're not doing what their soul was put here to do. They're not doing what their spirit is calling for them to do. They're not doing what they love, right? There are people who make a lot of money. They have great jobs, right? And you ask them how's work, and the same response: work is work. I'm just getting by, right? I'm just getting by, and I get caught up, right? Because life is real, right? And so sometimes people ask me, "How's it going?" I'm like, it's going. I'm making it do, and because life is real and life is challenging, right? And there are things that happen in our lives that make us, we don't always feel 100%. The challenge, though, is to always know that where you are is where you're supposed to be. The challenges are opportunities, the obstacles that you have are opportunities to grow. And so it's all good and it's always great. And so a brother of mine who I know has been through some things the last few years, he's been making content, and pretty much every one of his videos, he says, "Peace, peace, I feel great right now." And it makes me think something that Mona and I was talking about, right? About grief group. And we do a grief support group every Thursday in Queensbridge, and we were talking about grief group. And essentially she was like, in the moments that we're doing a check-in, like, she feels great always. And I'm like, but how? Because you've had these experiences and that experience. She's like, yeah, but in these moments I feel great. And it made me think that how often do I, and then how often do we experience something on a Monday, and maybe the thing is still happening, right? We have an experience with housing, right? We have a housing Mike Tyson. We have a housing issue, something going on with your housing. You're in housing court. There's stuff going on in your home. There's a leak, is whatever on Monday, and then Thursday that leak is still there, right? But from Monday to Thursday, other great things have happened. Why then on Thursday do you bring that same energy, that same response that you had, whether you were angry, frustrated? Why are you still frustrated on Thursday? Why have we not changed our perspective around the leak in our home, or whatever the issue is with our housing? Why have we not changed our relationship with it? That conversation with Mona made me ask myself that. How often do I have an experience, whether no matter how severe it is, right? Experience with my children, experience with my mother, experience with my brother, right? Experience with a friend being killed, right? Something tragic happening in some capacity. It happened. I had an initial reaction to it happening, right? An initial response. Something came up when I first learned that it happened, when I first experienced it, right? When I was first made aware of it happening, something came up. I processed it, right? And maybe I'm still processing. Maybe that's what it is. I'm still processing. But 3-4 days have gone by. Why do I still have the same energy that I had the first day? This is deep contemplation, because when we talk about being made in the image of God, we're talking about the ability to create at will, new thoughts, new energy, right? New possibilities, new opportunities. And so that's something that I'm still working towards, right? Because what I speak about, this wisdom that I share, is something that is self-learned. It's something that I wasn't taught, right? And so I'm learning as I go. I'm growing as I go. Right, it's not something that was implanted in me. Was like, yo, this is how. No, I'm learning this thing. I'm learning as I experience it in real time, right? While still working to create, right, and to be great and to be who I am, to fulfill my soul's purpose. Still learning how to let things go, experience a thing, no matter how uncomfortable it is, let it go, change my energy around it, and focus on what I want to create. All right. While still being able to still having to communicate or deal with the thing as it was, right? It's freaking very tough, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible because, again, made in the image of God. We get to choose what we feel. We get to choose what we think, even though we operate on an energetic field where our thoughts are interconnected, our thoughts are intertwined. You can walk into a space and pick up on the thoughts of somebody else, and someone else's thoughts could be your thoughts. And programming is real, and all of this stuff is very, very, very real. However, every thought that comes to us, we don't have to think about it, right? Like every thought that we have, we don't have to build on. We don't have to dwell on. We don't have to expound on. We can have the thought, recognize that thought. Well, where that thought come from? I don't like that thought. Put that thought out of our mind. Breathe. All right. Put that thought over there. Get rid of that thought and think a new thought. We have the ability to choose all the time. All the time in every instance. Now, I get that everybody's cognitive ability may not be the same. Right? Everyone's cognitive ability may not be the same because of whatever reason. Right? Brain damage is real. Right? Things happen in our brain, to our brain, that causes us to think differently. Right? All of us think differently. Very real. Community. Right? I remember there was an argument, right? Similar to today's subject matter, made in the image of God. God made man in his image. In the actual text, in the Christian Bible, the biblical text, it says, and God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness. That's exactly what it says, our. Let us make man in our image after our likeness. So you say, who was God talking to? Other gods, other entities. Right? Who is us and our? Community. Still comes back to people. We need each other. We need each other to create, right? We have, yes, individual ability to create, and we still need other people to make those creations even greater. This thing is real powerful. And so, again, the question is then asked, and we are charged with answering it for ourselves. What are we creating with our time here? We have a divine, innate ability, duty, right, responsibility to create. What are we creating? Because regardless of what you think or feel, you are creating your reality. You are co-creating your reality with the invisible energies that exist around you and the invisible energy that exists inside of you, which is spirit, source energy. It's invisible. You don't see it. You don't see your breath. If it's cold, maybe you can see it, but you don't see spirit. But you are alive. What are you creating? I think it was James Allen said, as a man thinketh. As a man thinketh. As you think, so shall you be. So what are you creating? What are you thinking? What type of life are you creating for yourself, for your family? Are you creating a life of despair? Are you creating a life of anguish? Are you creating a life of sadness? To then reinforce your mindset that life is terrible, life is hard, life is bad. There are circumstances that we are all born into. All right, someone said, we have no control over the condition that we are born into, but we have absolute control over the way our life turns out. We have no conditions over who our parents are, right? No power, control over who our parents are, where we're born, the house that we're born in, or apartment that we're born in, or the freaking floor that we have no control over that, right? And obviously some people start is a little more, see, you can't even say more challenging, right? Because like, for me, the more I learn, the more I realize that that's subjective, because someone could be born in terrible physical conditions, but with their mental faculties in place, their emotional faculties in place. Someone could be born with two incredible parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, uncles, aunts, everybody there at the time of the child's birth, and the child could be born with a deformity, right? Abnormality, right? In cellular structure, cellular function, right? Body function, body structure, brain function, brain structure, right? Like, So who's back to the question of the film? Who's more or less fortunate? But we do know that all of us are born with different challenges. Different challenges. And every person born, their start, no matter how different it is a start. Is a start, which can be considered a spark. And all you need to create a raging fire, right, is a freaking spark. And we all have that spark. Now, are we making excuses for ourselves? Oh, well, I don't have this resource. You got God with you. Oh, I don't have these connections. You got God with you. Understand, please, that before you were born, before any of us were born today, there were people who were born who did not have the connections, who did not have the money, who did not have the resources, right? Who did not have the conditions, right? They were called stupid. They were called dumb. They had learning disabilities, right? Their parents were on drugs. Their parents abused them, right? Before you were born, people had experiences similar to your experiences, and they still created great things. I think it was Carnegie, right? Born in poverty, right? A lot of people who created great things were born in poverty. And we could argue that poverty in Europe for white people and white people, right, is different than poverty in America with black people, right? We could argue that. It could be argued, could be debated. However, we know that even white people in Europe, right, Europeans in Europe were condemned by those people in power, right? They were people who grew up, right, who had politics that were different than what was dominant, right? And they were put to death, right? So just because like people were quote unquote white or European doesn't mean that everyone had an easy shot, right? A lot of people like to argue that and make us believe that it's like, oh, they got it easy, they had it easy, and we got it tough. Yeah, of course, it's black people like being whether our ancestors were already here, right, as Native Americans, or we were brought from Africa, as prisoners of prisoners, kidnapped, right? As we were kidnapped. Absolutely, right? Like the firstborn of the tribe, right? The human tribe, born in Africa. Yes, our plight is extremely different from everyone else's plight. Still, because we got divine source energy, and if we're going to say we're the original, right, then we could also say that we are closest to divine source energy, right? And in saying that, we can also, again, argue the point that there are those who are furthest from divine source energy who want to make us seem like we're furthest and want to take our power away. It's happened. They took our language, right? They took our language. They brought us to a foreign land, right? The history is there. And still, we got divine source energy inside of us. So the moment we become conscious and we can recognize that we still got God with us, we can still create any reality that we desire. And that's the power and beauty of being God. Regardless to what the devil does, regardless to what evil does, you are God. God is still God. God is always God. Nothing can stop God. The devil is not more powerful than God. Sometimes God just forgets that God is God. We have forgotten that we are God. We have forgotten that we are connected to divine source energy. We have forgotten that we're connected to that which is eternal, that which has no beginning, that which has no end, that which is formless and full of form at the same time. We have forgotten that. Our ability to create from thin air. Many of us have forgotten. Some haven't. Our artists haven't forgotten because they create from thin air like that. Whether it's music, dance, painting, sculpture, language, right? Language is an art. Fashion from nothing. Tap in. And so what are we creating? What are you creating? What are you creating? You don't have to wait for anyone to create. If you don't have the resources, work with what you got. If you don't have what you think you need, work with what you got, because I tell you the truth, everything you need is everything. Everything you have is everything you need. And everything you need is everything you have. Right here, right now. Get started. Get started. Waiting for a perfect condition, you'll be waiting forever. Waiting for the perfect condition, you'll be waiting forever. Waiting for more courage, you'll be waiting forever. Do the thing. Do the thing. Launch the thing. Put it out there. You learn by doing. You can never learn everything you need to learn about a thing until you actually put it into action, and then you learn. Right? They call what they call when technology is beta testing. You got the idea, you got a model of it, but you got to put it out there and test it to know what tweaks need to be made, to know how it works, to know how it's going to impact people. Right? If people want it or not. Test it. Test your idea. Make the ask. You need something, ask for it. Closed mouth don't get fed. A closed mouth is never going to get fed. And then when you don't have, the only person you have to blame is yourself. But I'm going to tell you, don't even blame yourself. Just do the fucking thing. And if you are, just take accountability. Like, it's not working because I haven't worked it. The thing is not working. I am not where I want to be because I have not had the courage. I have not taken the risk. I have not taken the chance. I have not leaned into my community. I've forgotten that I'm God. And I got a community of gods around me. And we are going to create reality in our image: beauty, harmony, love, compassion, peace, truth, justice, freedom, liberation. Keep going. All right, keep going. God is with you. God is in you. You can never be separate from God. You can never be separate from God. God can never be separated from you. So, like, create the thing. You were here for a reason. You were not here to just suffer. You were not here to just struggle. Because no matter what struggle you experience, no matter what suffering you experience, all of it is for a purpose. Even if the purpose is simply to create beauty out of that. You're not here merely just to live and die. Yes, that is the beginning, that is the end. We are all, everyone who was born is going to die, is going to transition, every single person. The dash in the middle. What did you do with that time? And it's not enough to say, right? It's not enough to live 80 years and say for 30 of those years, for 40 of those years, this is what I've done, and the rest of the time I just kicked back and chilled. Now, kick back and chill, right? If in your mind, kick back and chilling also means creating and contributing to the world around you, then that's absolutely great. Kick back and chill and contribute. Kick back, chill, and contribute to the people around you, to your community. Right? I'm not saying you have to quote unquote work hard all the time. No, you should actually, yes, work hard and smart. Yes, right. But when your work is what you love, as they say, you never work a day in your life. Just wake up and do what you love. Navigate the challenges. Right? It's like sailing. Right? Sometimes it's windy. Sometimes you gotta we gotta dock somewhere. Right? We gotta dock somewhere and let the storm pass. That's real. Right? The waters get choppy. We can't go out right now. That's real. Right? But it doesn't mean get off the freaking boat. It's not what it means. Stay on the boat. Keep sailing. Keep sailing. Sail towards your freedom. Right? Because freedom is found, like, my laptop broke, right, last week. Right? Went to the Apple store. They could fix it. $600 and something, right? $600 something that I'm not able to spend right now. My daughter has a birthday coming up. I'm unsure of, right, like what's happening, right? Situation is what it is. But that's not something I could just like, all right, I'm gonna spend this, right? Got other things to do. So I'm like, damn. Still doing the show, right? Still moving forward. Still going to do the 500th episode Tuesday in Queensbridge of SR Daily, right? My talk show, SR Daily. We do Monday through Fridays, right? Still able to show up right here, right? And financial challenges, right? Parental challenges, right? Emotional challenges, right? But none of those challenges take away from my greatness, take away from how I feel about myself, right? Now, sometimes I may feel like, damn, I didn't do enough here, right? I didn't do enough there. I should have. But then immediately I shift that thought and I feel great right now, even though I'm going through challenges, right? As humans, as people made in the image of God, made in the image of that which is eternal, made in the image of that which is all-knowing and all-powerful, we got a choice. We cannot let our circumstances, we should not let our circumstances dictate how we feel about ourselves. We should not let any situation that we are in, your wife left you, your husband left you, right? Your parents abandoned you, right? It doesn't have to change how you feel about yourself. Self-confidence, self-love, self-esteem, right? And mind you, all of those things can impact, right? They do hit you. They do hit you. They do impact you. But this is when you got to build up your armor of God and know that no matter who is against you, no matter who left you, no matter who abandoned you, God is always there. Source energy is always there in all forms, right? In all forms, in the form of parent, in the form of freaking companion, confidant, right? Now, clearly there's a physical element to this life that we all experience, and some want to experience more, right? Some want to experience more of this physical, and that's a beautiful thing. There's nothing wrong with that. And so recognize, right? Like, okay, I got what I need, and I want more. You can be grateful for what you have and still want more. I'm grateful that I have a roof over my head. I want a better home, bigger space, more space. I'm grateful that I am alive. I woke up this morning, but I want my children to be with me, right? I'm grateful that I'm able to speak to them, right, every week, but I want to see my daughter for her birthday, all right? I'm grateful that my mama is still here, right? I want her to be here a little longer. I want her to be healthier. I'm grateful that my little brother texts me and communicates with me, but I want to actually spend some time with him, right? It's okay to be grateful and want more. It's okay to be grateful for what you have, for where you are, and still want more. I'm grateful that I'm able to buy food. I'm able to pay my bills, right? But I want more income. So now, wanting is not enough. What are we doing about that? What are we working towards? How are we creating that which we want? How I'm going to create and work to create my daughter being with me. I'm going to email my children's mother today with love, peace and love. Happy Sunday. I hope you are well. All right. Following up again to see if I can see the children next weekend for Uchi's birthday. And I'm glad that I got to this point, because a few days ago, the energy wasn't this way, right? But today is a new day. And every day that we are alive, every day that we wake up, we have an opportunity to reframe the messaging in our mind and to reframe how we want to communicate to the world, right? How I can work on spending time with my brother. Hey, brother, how you doing? I'm proud of you, and I would love to spend some time with you. Let's get together sometime soon. He sent me a message the other day. He's reading his book. Let's get together and read and then talk about what we're reading, right? So it's things that we can do. Wanting is not enough. Wishing is not enough. The desire is not enough. What are we doing on it? How are we activating? How are we being active around the things that we say we want, right? And no matter what it is, no matter how far it seems, today we can all do something. Today we can all do something. God did not make the earth, the world was not created in one day. 6 days. That's what the legend tells us. 6 days, and on the seventh day, God rested. 6 days. Right? However you want to look at that allegorically, right? There's a message there. There's a message there. It was not created in one thought. It was not one moment where everything came into existence. It took a little bit. It was a process. Everything is a process. Life is a process, right? Growth is a process. Building relationships and rebuilding relationships is a process. Generating more income is a process, right? Some process obviously can happen faster than others, but it's still a process. But the process doesn't get started unless you start. So start the freaking process. You got that business you're launching? Launch the damn business. Launch the freaking business. Launch the idea. Put that shit out there, please. The world is waiting for your creation. The more you hold it because of your fears, your anxieties, the more selfish you actually are. Yet you say you want to help the world. You want to end world hunger. You want to create world peace. You want to help this person and help that person. But you're sitting on all the ideas that the world could benefit from to manifest everything that you say you want, that other people also want. Fear is a real thing, but it's not real. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? You're afraid that it may not work out? Well, it ain't working out now, right? So what you got to lose? If it doesn't work out, then hey, you're afraid people are going to laugh at you? Who are they? Who are they? You know who you are. You know what's inside of you. You know you got God with you all the time, right? You got at least one person in your corner, right? Physical person outside of divine source energy. You got a sibling, a friend, a partner, a child, a parent, at least one person that you know believes in you and will support you no matter what you do. No matter how radical your ideas are, there's at least one person who you know that will support you. And you know what they say, when two or more gathered, there I am. So there's an invisible energy. When one person has an idea and they put it out there and they connect with another person and they have a similar idea, it's like the coming together of the energies and they spark. And it's out there in the universe now. And now you sit back and you do your work, but you let God do what God does. Like Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey said, every single thing you pray for, God sends it immediately. Every single thing that you ask for, God sends to you immediately. Now, it doesn't always get there, right, immediately. A lot of times you miss it, though, because you left Faith Street. You went to Doubt Street. Oh, I'm not sure. You went to Fear Street. Oh, it may not happen for me. Like, low self-worth. Oh, who am I to deserve? Come on. Faith Street, Faith Street, Faith Street. You ask for it in faith. It's coming to you. Stay on Faith Street. You start doubting. A lot of people don't have what they want because they say they want something, but then they actively in their own mind work against what they say they want. Come on. You ask for wealth. You ask for a bigger home, but then you actively saying, oh, it's kind of hard. Oh, it's impossible. Oh, I don't know how this is going to happen. It's not your responsibility to know how it's going to happen. Your responsibility is to show up and to follow your spirit. Sometimes your spirit means leaving that job. Sometimes your spirit means leaving that relationship. Sometimes your spirit means taking this route home. Sometimes your spirit means asking this person something that you fear that they may say no. They may say, why are you asking me that? Right? But that is follow your spirit. Your spirit is always going to lead you to the right place, even if it's uncomfortable. That's the problem, though. A lot of us are afraid of being uncomfortable. We were conditioned to believe that life is about comfortability. No, life is about growth. And if you are not growing, you are dying. We say that about trees. If the tree is not growing, the tree is dying. So your life is not supposed to be comfortable. You got to find comfort in being uncomfortable. Right? Find comfort. They say that peace is not the absence of the storm, it's the ability to dance in the freaking rain. That's peace, the ability to be in the storm and be still, to not be moved by the conditions around you, to know who you are, to know why you're here, to know where you're going, to know who you are, to know why you're here, and to know where you are going. That is the key to life. What are you doing? What are you creating? You can create anything you want to create, and you're choosing to create lack. You're choosing to create more struggle. Watch what you say. Never forget. And I've said this many times. The woman back in 2011 or 12, one of those years, maybe 2012, 13, actually, because I was on Roosevelt Island at the time, right? And I remember very vividly remember those times I was on Roosevelt Island. So about 2012, 2013, doing an interview with a sister from Ohio, Blog Talk radio show, Sister Tahira. It was Sign of the Times radio show, Blog Talk radio show, and the sister from Harlem was on the show, oldest sister from Harlem. And I finished the interview. We talked for like an hour and some change. Great interview, great conversation. And the sister was wrapping up, asked me any final words. I gave some final words, and I was like, yeah, the struggle continues. And this sister said, brother, I think she said, can I ask you something, or can I offer you something? Something she said. And I was like, sure. She said, why do you call it a struggle? And I said, I mean, it is. She said, but isn't it also a journey? And she said, as long as you say it's a struggle, it's going to be a struggle. Shifted my mind. The journey continues. The journey continues. Just like, when you set out, again, I think this is one of the best examples. When you set out to drive any place, but specifically cross country, long distance from New York to California, right? From Florida to Oregon, right? The two opposite ends of the country. When you start driving, there are going to be some weather challenges, maybe, right? You know that you're going to have to stop for gas. You're going to have to stop for rest. There may be a flat tire, right? Like something can happen. So you want to have a spare, right? That these different things are possible. And some of them are going to absolutely happen. There's going to be some detours. There's going to be red lights. You're going to have to stop sometimes, stop signs, right? You're going to have to slow down. There's going to be detours. It's going to be these roads ain't working. The right thing, right? We got GPS now. So GPS tells you to go this way, but you go that way and damn, it's not working. So we got to go around. We got to find another way. Those things are going to happen. But you know they're going to happen, right? Like, so when they happen, it's not that bad. But in life, our existence, we are conditioned to think that it's supposed to be smooth sailing. And so when things happen, we're devastated. I can't believe this is happening. How could this happen? Are you not living? Did you not ask for more? Did you not ask for greater? Number one, living alone comes with its own challenges and obstacles. Then when you ask for more challenges, right? More opportunity means more challenges as well. The opportunities and the challenges. Are you who you say you are? Are you who you think you are? Can you still move forward with love, with passion, with purpose, even though it seems like the walls are closing in? The other day I wanted to talk to my brother, right? I'll talk to not my biological brother, but brother of mine I wanted to speak to. I was having some heavy emotions. And I wanted to speak to him about him, and I was going to talk about. But I'm so grateful because he said he was going to talk to me, and he did not talk to me. And I'm grateful that he didn't, because I didn't need to put that out there into the universe. The thoughts I was having, I did not need to speak them. And so everything is divine. And I could look at it, although he let me down. He didn't do what he said he would do. But it's all good, right? It's all good because I actually did not need to put those thoughts out into the universe, because I'm understanding more and more and more and more every day that I live how powerful, not just the mind, but how powerful my mind is. Do you know, Mona, Monday we went to Queens World Film Festival, right? Saw the short films, right? Dope short films. Directors, producers, writers are there, actors are there, right? And I was like, yo, I'm in my bag, right? I want to act more. I want to do more acting. I want to do more film. Thursday, go to think tank. My man had a think tank. We go to the think tank, and he tells me, yo, I got a film for you. You'll be perfect for this role. Send me the script already. Monday, I said, I want to act more. I want to get back in my bag, and I want to get back to acting. Thursday, I got a script in my hand. Thursday night, middle of the night. Sends me a script. I wake up Friday morning, it's there. The mind is powerful. The mind is powerful. And the more positive energy you put out there, right? The more faith you have, right? The faster the manifestations take place. And so only think about what you want. Don't think about what you don't want. Don't even think about the obstacles that are in the way. And this is a lesson. I'm saying this not as someone who got it all down pat. No, I don't. I think about more time with my children, and then I also think about the challenges that are in the way. I need to stop thinking about the challenges and just think about the more time with my children and the more positive relationship I want with my ex-wife. That's what all I need to think about and focus on, is that the goal, not whatever challenges existed prior, right? Because in the moment, it's just now. Whatever happened yesterday is yesterday. And yes, yesterday could, yes, right? That's real. Like, you can go to sleep with clothes on and wake up with the same clothes, all right? So like, yes, it's very real. However, it's a new day, new opportunity. Every moment is a moment to think only of what you want and to create your mind, right? Your mind. God thinks, and so it is. God created freaking all of this, right? Even if you're going to say it's self-generated, right? Even if we're going to say it's self-generated, it's still of what we call a mind. So now, made in the image of God. We are made in the image of God. We are eternal. We are all powerful. Spirit, right? Physical realm, human, us humans. We see people literally with their hands build whole freaking structures. We see people who started really, really poor in really, really bad conditions. Really bad conditions. It's people born. This guy Johnny Wimbrey was born. No, not Johnny Wimbrey, sorry. Johnny Wimbrey's story. He said his first memory was being in the shelter with his mother and going to grab some milk. And she told him no and slapped his hand down. That's his first memory. As a little boy. He's being told he could not have milk in the refrigerator. They were in the shelter. Put it down. His first memory. Being told no. Les Brown was born on the floor in an abandoned building. Les Brown, born on the floor in an abandoned building in Florida. 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old, 13 years old, 14 years old, 15 years old, 16 years old, 17 years old, 18 years old, 19 years old, 20 years old, 21 years old, 22 years old, 23 years old, 24 years old, 25 years old, 26 years old, 27 years old, 28 years old, 29 years old, 30 years old, 31 years old, 32 years old, 33 years old, 34 years old, 35 years old, 36 years old, 37 years old, 38 years old, 39 years old, 40 years old, 41 years old, 42 years old, 43 years old, 44 years old, 45 years old, 46 years o abandoned by his mother. Him and his twin brother. Les Brown is one of the highest paid speakers and coaches in the world. Multi 100 millionaire. And there's many examples like that. Black, white, yellow, red, brown. Many examples like that of people who were born into terrible, terrible, terrible conditions with terrible experiences and terrible upbringing. They still created wonder. They still created things that are majestic. So why not you? What excuse do you have? Don't make excuses. Just it's all in the process, right? Start to say that. Stop making excuses and start to say you don't have what you want yet, but you are working on it. You are in the process of getting everything you've ever dreamed of. You are in the process of being everything you've ever wanted to be. You are in the process of it. Don't make no more excuses. Don't blame the government, right? Yes, the government creates systems in place. Redlining, very real. All of these things are very real. But if you want it, you can find a way. If you are determined enough, a determined spirit can find a way. Right? Don't blame your parents. Yes, they abuse you. Yes, they created this mind that you have that you don't believe in yourself. But again, you got people around you, right? And no, it's not always easy to trust. It's not always easy to be vulnerable. Of course not. But I like to say a thing is as hard as we make it seem in our mind. And even if we say it, right? Oh, I'm going to do this. And whatever it is holds us back. The moment we recognize that we haven't done the thing yet, recommit to doing the thing. Recommit to doing the thing until the thing is done. Recommit to it. Recommit to it. Recognize whatever you allowed to stop you. And then recommit to doing the thing until you push through that thing and now the thing is done. And now that thing that was quote unquote stopping you in your way is no longer there. Right? You were made in the image of the divine source energy. You are like plasma. You are more than your body. Right? Your mind has the power to bring towards you any reality that you desire. So hold your dreams in your mind. Hold the reason that you want to, your why, the reason you want to cultivate these dreams, manifest these dreams, accomplish these goals. Hold those reasons, that reason, whatever they are, in your heart. And follow your spirit. And know that you will get knocked down. You will fall. You will be told no. You will fail. You will lose. You will be ridiculed. You will be embarrassed. All of those things will happen. And you're still going to wake up tomorrow and do it all again. Why? Because you are resilient. You were born resilient. Sustain your resilience. Listen, you are God in the flesh. Ain't no devil powerful enough to stop you from creating a world that you dream of and that you desire. So remember that. Remember who you are. Remember what you are. Remember where you come from. Remember why you are here. You are here to do something magnificent. You are here to do something powerful. You are here to change lives. You are here to change the world. So do that. Let nothing and no one stop you. They ain't more powerful than you. Trust yourself. Have unyielding, unlimited, freaking invincible, indestructible faith in yourself, confidence in yourself, and in your ability to bring forth the vision that you have in your mind, in your heart, and in your spirit. Go do it. I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Whew. Whew. Man. Listen, I don't know about you guys, but I'm fired up. I'm ready to create something beautiful. I'm ready to create something magnificent. I'm ready to take more risks. I'm ready to take more chances. I'm ready to test my faith even more. I'm ready to test my mental ability even more today. And so we are going to get into a meditation. Then we're going to get out of here so we can get to work, right? Because we got work to do. We got work to do. We got work to do. This is, as they say, the day the Lord has made. Every day is the day the Lord has made. Sunday, beginning of a new week. We got work to do. Listen, I'm going to go live, right? Tomorrow is the show, but I'm going to go live probably later. And I'm going to read from this book, right? Because it's a part of this book, Wisdom of the Ages, by Wayne Dyer, right? chapter I read last night and this morning on just that, on work and play and like just the ability to manifest. I told you guys like Monday I just told Mona I want to get back into my acting back, and Thursday man told me you got a film for me. Same week, 3 days later. I said I want to do it more acting, get back into acting. 3 days later, my man got a film for me. I can't make it up. I can't make it up. Right? So put out there what you want to create, and then go to places that your spirit calls you to go and watch it happen. If you were laying down, get in a comfortable position. If you were sitting, allow your feet to be planted firmly on the floor beneath you. Allow your back to be straightened by the chair behind you. Allow your arms to rest gently in your lap or by your side. Allow your head to lean forward so that your chin is in your chest. And allow your eyes to close ever so softly. And simply become aware of your breath. Become aware of this invisible force that has kept you alive this long. Be aware of this invisible force, your breath, that has been with you through all of the dark times and in all of the dark places that you have been. This breath has been with you. This breath has been with you when you thought that you could not make it to tomorrow. This breath has been with you when you've experienced great loss. And you were in pain that you thought would never end. This breath has been with you. In your mind and in your heart, simply give thanks right now. Thank your breath. Thank your parents. Thank your ancestors. Thank yourself for enduring. As you take a few more breaths in the spirit of thanksgiving, create in the front of your mind a vision of what you want your next 30 days to be like. Very short-term goal. What do you want your next 21 days to be like? Even more of a short-term goal. What do you want your next 14 days to be like? An even shorter-term goal. What do you want your next 7 days to be like? An even shorter-term goal. How do you want this day to go? What will you create today that will lead to the next 7 days, and the next 14 days, and the next 21 days, and the next 30 days? What energy will you cultivate today to lead you to where you want to be later? Know that you are loved. Know that you are cherished. Know that you are sacred and you are adored. You are stronger than you think. You are more powerful than you know. And you are greater than you could ever imagine. I love you. I love you. I love you. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. When you're ready, you can slowly begin to open your eyes. Move your toes, move your fingers, give yourself a neck roll. Welcome back to the space. Thank you. Go forward with the internal knowing and internal power that you can have and create anything that you desire. I love you guys. Have a beautiful week. Do join us tomorrow and Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Same channels, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram for SR Daily. Tuesday, episode 500. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Have a beautiful day. Peace.